one day, Guy Beahm broke character.
As you guys know, I have a beautiful family and a wife and kid. And I want to be transparent that I've been unfaithful.
Damn.
His admission was, of course, devoid of the pompous charisma of the Doctor and featured bashfulness far removed from the usual attitude that people have come to expect from the Twitch channel.
And I'm probably going to be taking some time away, time off.
So after his short, frank admission of guilt, DrDisRespect left Twitch.
Shit.
That's it.
That's crazy. Does he owe it to him? I know it's probably not what you guys are thinking, but did he owe him the explanation? Did he? I mean, that's his life, right? That's his personal life. Because the whole idea is, why does somebody share such a private thing publicly? A lot of times it's to alleviate some guilt, right? It's a lot of times that you feel that either the right thing to do is to come clean, which I would argue a lot of times the reason for that is to alleviate your own personal guilt. You know, or you're essentially putting yourself out there to be judged in a hopes that you're forgiven. Because a lot of times it's not just like, hey, if I apologize, I deserve a forgiveness. I deserve forgiveness. Like, no. Sometimes when people put their shit out there, they're actually just kind of looking for judgment, believe it or not. Like, not immediate, not knee-jerk hatred. They're looking for somebody to look at them, listen to their story, and help them understand if they're in fact a bad person. Because I can tell you, people make mistakes all the time. People do things that go against their moral code, and it doesn't make them a bad person. Now, if they keep doing it, clearly they don't have a moral code that they're sticking to, because it's, you know, but same as like, I look at like Tiger Woods and other famous people who maybe honestly probably wouldn't be famous in a normal world. Now, granted, he's a pretty good looking tall dude. He'd probably be successful, but in a world where clearly he got caught up in something, he had tons of guilt for it. I don't know anything outside of what I'm watching. I don't know anything about any of the details. But ultimately, by putting himself out there, do you guys think he was looking for, like, to relieve his guilt? Or do you think he was actually putting himself out there to be kind of judged? Like, this is what I did. I know it was wrong. Let me know your judgment. And I hope your judgment is to forgive. Because there is something to be said for being, like, these are his fans. People watch him every day, probably 10 hours a day. Like, they're invested in his life. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not allowed to have a private one, right? So I don't know. I remember that. Came on YouTube and changed to the Champion Club. That's crazy, man. That personal information, is that necessary to share with his other personas community? Exactly. Like, is DrDisRespect, does he have to table the responsibility for Guy Brahms, Guy Billy? Shit, why can't I remember his name? Guy, how do you say it? It's Beahm. Like, does Guy Beahm get to use DrDisRespect to look for his salvation? I don't know. I'm not passing judgment. I don't. If he was cheated on his wife, that's between him and his wife to figure out. It's either she forgives him or not. Either he does things to earn forgiveness or not. So that's kind of my opinion there. But the really curious thing to me is, does he, because Noob, you were a big fan, probably still are, I imagine. But as a fan, do you feel that you actually, would you have felt, do you think, betrayed if you found out later and he didn't divulge that to the community? Because again, I'm pretty new to streaming, right? So it's different. People have way different relationships with streamers than I do. Like, I see what they do as a job. Other people don't always, right? So it's interesting to me when so much of a person's personal and private life, or professional and private life, start to overlap. Because I'm a pretty sharing person. Like, I overshare a lot, but I also believe in privacy.